I don't know if there are words to explain that game and to explain this tournament. The scenes are going on as I look down to my right hand side at the other screen here. It has just finished. Sri Lanka 3, Seychelles 3. And the Seychelles have won on penalties. The first thing I would like to say before getting into talking a little bit about this game, talking a little bit as the tournament as a whole, is congratulations to the Seychelles. I think that every single person, every opposition, underestimated them throughout the majority of this tournament. Apart from today, where they got the respect that they deserved from Sri Lanka. And it was a phenomenal game. It was a phenomenal game. Gianni Infantino was there, which was good to see. He can make a few mistakes in his role as FIFA president, as I've touched on the channel already. But it was good to see him there today supporting Sri Lankan football and supporting this tournament. And what an incredible tournament it was. And the final was just a showcase of that. Seychelles started quite well out the blocks. Looked quite sharp, looked quite aggressive. But then 4 minutes in, there was an absolute goal out of nothing from Hamilton. The ball played long, definite foul from the Seychelles right back. Hamilton steps up nearly in his own half and rifles it. I think it takes a nick on the way through, but he'll claim the goal nonetheless. 1-0 to Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka looked really good throughout the whole first half, and then out of nowhere, the Seychelles got an equaliser just before half-time, a really good header. The commentary team thought that Sujan could have done more. I didn't think so. I thought it was a really good header, and it went in at half-time 1-1. Probably slightly unfair to Sri Lanka, who I thought dominated the first half, but there wasn't that many clear-cut chances. In the second half, it didn't take all too long before Sri Lanka kind of asserted their dominance over it again, and Akib Faizer got his deserved goal, a really good finish. The long throw from Harsha Fernando coming in, the ball goes past Razik, and Faizer steps up, Akib Faizer steps up and rifles it past the keeper, 2-1. Then it becomes a bit more of an even game because Sri Lanka sat back a little bit more. Seychelles started to get more and more of a grip on the game, trying to get back into it. But then it was 3-1. I didn't actually see the goal because the stream I was watching glitched, but it was a penalty. And it was definitely a penalty. It was brilliant play from Razik. It was brilliant play from Razik. I'm going to quickly touch on, between goals 2 and 3, there was a red card incident. You might have your views on it, and I can totally understand why, as a Sri Lanka fan, you'll think it's a red card. I think it's a foul, and I think it's a card because it's a late challenge. I just think it's clumsy. I don't think it's intentional. I don't think he means to kick the player. I think he is going for the ball, but the ball isn't there, and he ends up kicking the player in the chest. It's a foul, and it's a yellow card. I don't think it's a red card. I didn't think that the game was actually played in a bad fashion at all today. The Seychelles have been quite an aggressive tournament. Quite an aggressive team throughout the tournament, should I say. But today I didn't think they were too bad. Obviously, Sri Lanka are a nicer team. All the Asian teams were nicer teams than the Seychelles, but the Seychelles ultimately have won the tournament, so you can't dig them out too much for saying that. It was 3-1 with not long to go. What, 15 minutes was it, tops? Plus added time. Like I said, I didn't see the penalty, but I saw the foul and it definitely was a penalty. I didn't see it go in. And then, sadly, there was just 10 minutes of utter madness. Utter madness. The Seychelles threw themselves at Sri Lanka as they had to try and get back into this final, and an own goal and a Woodley equaliser on 86 and 92 respectively, pulling the game back to 3-3 in a way that only a cup final could play with your emotions like this. You can't say that Sri Lanka deserved to win the final because they didn't see it through from 3-1 up. I thought that they were unlucky. I thought they played some of their best football in this game, including the comeback against the Maldives. I thought Sri Lanka played some of their best football. But the Seychelles just have that physical advantage, don't they? They're just bigger, they're just stronger, they're a little bit quicker. And of course, you've got to think Sri Lanka without a few key players for this game. No Puslas at the back, no Dylan De Silva, no Ishan going forward as well. And I think had those players been part of this game, Sri Lanka would have won. But the Seychelles fought back resiliently. And when it comes down to penalties, it's a lottery. I thought that Mikel played really well in goal for the Seychelles in the penalty shootout. He made a couple of really good saves. The penalties weren't top class, but a couple of really good saves. The only goal that Sri Lanka scored in the shootout was Sujan Pereira. So, you know, that sums it up. But Sri Lanka will be gutted. And I think it would have been better for the tournament and better for, you know, Infantino, etc., if the home crowd had have won. But I don't want to take anything away from the fact that they didn't. They didn't win it. The Seychelles won it. They won the inaugural Mahinda Rajapaksa trophy, the Four Nations Prime Minister trophy. The Seychelles won it. Sometimes their tactics were a little bit dirty. Sometimes they were a little bit long ball. But sometimes you need that in football. And ultimately, there's only one thing that counts, and that's the name that goes onto the trophy, and that is the Seychelles. What could Sri Lanka have done differently? It's defensive resilience. Going forward, they didn't do anything wrong. They scored 3 good goals. I guess there was fortune about them, but they scored 3 goals in a cup final. You just need your defence to help you out, and they just couldn't quite today. And that ultimately was the difference. Penalties are penalties. Absolutely fair play to the African nation who travelled over, the only side from Africa to compete in this trophy, ranked 199 in the world, and to not lose a single game and to win the final on penalties was incredible. They topped the group with a draw, a win and a draw, and they drew the final and won on penalties. So absolutely fair play and congratulations to Seychelles for doing that. I just would like to also say thank you to everyone who has supported DNQ throughout this tournament. It doesn't stop here. The AFF Suzuki Cup starts in just a few weeks, and we will be all over that like we've been all over this tournament. The support has been brilliant from fans from all nations, including, you know, the Seychelles. Didn't expect too much engagement from people from the African island, but it's been great to have you on the channel. A few of you rightly pointing out that you think the Seychelles are going to win it, and you were right. But I think that every fan thinks their team's going to win it until the last moment. And definitely Sri Lanka fans would have today. So just a huge thank you to everyone who has supported the channel, followed the channel, subscribed to the channel, and also got involved with comments as well. I said in response to one of the comments that I do a team in the tournament. I will do, but it will be on our DNQ Instagram channel. That's at DNQ Football on Instagram. So if you are watching this video, do head over and follow us on there and you'll be able to see it. And also coming up, we have interviews with 2 finalists on the show at some point. We have goal scorer today, Marvin Hamilton, who will be on the show. And we also have tournament winner, Wei Hive, who will also be on the show at some point in the future. So plenty of stuff to look forward to. If you're a fan of this tournament exclusively, Sri Lanka football exclusively, or anything else. But if you're a fan of worldwide football, if you're a fan of DNQ, if you're a fan of Minnow Nation content, then you are in the right place. So there's a button that's going to appear here that says subscribe. Hit that button, but also drop a comment below as well, just to let us know that you're enjoying what we do. And hit here for our tournament preview to see just how wrong we got it. We have to be open and honest and say when we got it wrong. I predicted a draw in the final. Ryan predicted a Seychelles win. We were technically both right, but do watch the preview and see how far we were off in the first place. That is all from us on DNQ, and we will see you next time.